Hello students, this is the syllabus video for SSC 220 Introduction to Research Methods. First day of class and we've got a snow day. I am going to encourage you, if this is your first time looking at this video here at the beginning of the semester, to have your syllabus with you. I am also going to include timestamps in the information section below so that if you are looking back at this video later on in order to get more information about what I'm expecting about the projects or anything like that, that you can come back and reference just that one section without watching the entire video again. I am at home, so there might be doggy cameos or other sorts of things in the video. We'll just have to see how it goes. So first things first, on page 1 of the syllabus at the very top is information about the course and who I am. As a brief introduction to you all, my legal name is Laura Kate Corlew. All of these people are me. Sometimes you will see me listed as Laura, sometimes you will see me listed as Kate. Most people in the United States call me Katie, and so that's generally what I go by, but you will see all of these names in various places. Don't panic, it's not different people. All of those people are me. My office is in the Bangor campus in Lewiston 223. However, I am going to be all over the state of Maine this semester. For this class, I am going to try to get to all of our locations to which we are broadcasting a couple of times throughout the semester. And so on Tuesdays, I'll have rotating office hours. It won't actually be an office, it'll be somewhere. We'll find somewhere to meet if you need to meet with me on those days. In Augusta, yeah, library maybe. It might be, I don't know, in hallways in Jewett, all sorts of different places. And of course in Bangor it can be in my office. I'll be on the Augusta campus teaching the garden seminar on Wednesdays, and afterwards on Wednesdays I will be available to meet with students. We're also hoping to have kind of a regular lunch open to everybody to just come and hang out, bring your lunch, socialize, no agenda or anything like that. I really would like to get that going, so I'll let you know if anything like that happens. But also any Augusta students that were looking forward to meeting me today, let me know. I will be on campus tomorrow. Same with Bangor students. I will be teaching my community psychology course in Bangor mornings. So Thursdays from 12 to 2, you can meet me on campus or in my office. So this course we are going to be covering research, basically how social sciences research happens and works. As a quick background to who I am a researcher. I am a psychologist, but I am not a clinical psychologist, so I don't have expertise in therapy or counseling. Instead, I'm a research psychologist. Specifically, my title is Community and Cultural Psychology. That's what I got my degree in. My areas of expertise include disaster and climate change and also poverty. I was also an education researcher, and so I've done research and activity in all of these different fields before coming to Maine to be a professor here. So I really do love research, and I will totally geek out this semester, and I hope that you come to geek out with me. Our course text is Understanding Research Methods, an Overview of the Essentials by Patton and Newhart, and this is the 10th edition. If you want to look at another edition of this text, it's going to be up to you to make sure that you are getting all of the content and completing all of the homeworks, because the homeworks are based out of this book. What I really like about this book is it's not so much divided into chapters, although it certainly is divided into these different parts. Let me see if I can get that on camera. But each topic within that chapter of sorts, of each part, is broken up into a wholly different section, which is, 1 to 3 pages long. So it's just very quick overviews of each individual topic. We are going to be breaking down the components of research throughout the semester and then putting them back together. And yes, that is my dog you can hear in the background. Yeah. Really? Okay, so next we're still on page 1 of the syllabus. We have the grading and evaluation requirements. These are the components of the course that you will be graded on. First is weekly homework, which will come out of the text every week. I want you to answer the topic questions at the end. There are 3 sections of questions. Answer all of them. The purpose of those questions is to review what you just learned, so please actually read and then look at the questions and think, what did that mean? What is the answer? Rather than just going through looking for the answer. It definitely will help you learn, and that will help you prepare for the exams. So I very highly encourage you to do it in that order. I am not emotionally invested in any of the questions. If some of them are weird or hard to understand or whatever, you are welcome to write what you think is the answer, but also make a note, I really don't know what this question is all about, or this is an unreasonable question, and I will take that into consideration while I'm grading. But mostly I want you to use the homework as the thinking exercise, the review exercise for what you're reading in the book, and hang on to your homework as well to study from. The class workshops, we are going to, with each topic, have activities. And like I said, we're breaking down the components of research throughout the semester, and we'll be doing that live in class with the class workshops. And what I want you to be doing with those workshops is learning these different pieces, and then we will put all of these component pieces of research together for the research proposal paper that will come together at the end of the semester. If you have been up with your class workshops and you've been up with the readings, you already have all of the information you need in order to put the proposal together. You just need to gather all of those components and then put them in the order of a research paper, which we will be guiding through that process as well throughout the semester. Finally, we have the midterm and the final exam. Those 2 pieces together are 50% of your grade. And like I said before, the weekly homework will prepare you for that. So make sure you are doing that. Come to class. We'll have a quick review at the end of every class session about what we were talking about that day. I want you to use every opportunity you have to practice that retrieval memory, because that really does help you increase your learning and comprehension and grade scores. So again, hang on to your homework, hang on to the class workshops, and that will help prepare you for all of those things. Come on, little dog. This is Valu. She wants to help. The learning outcomes, you can read through those, and let's move on to page 2 of the syllabus. Yes, a little girl. All right. So on page 2 at the very top, we have our weekly homework and a description of what that is. Every week prior to the beginning of class, you will log into Blackboard and upload your homework assignments. Most weeks we are going to have usually 5 to 10 topic areas that we will be covering. Here the first week of class, we have our homework due next week. It's going to be 11 different sections. They're really short and to the point, and hopefully you had already started reading a little bit, but if not, sorry, trial by fire. We're going to get this going in the semester. Some weeks we'll have alternative or additional assignments that will be provided through Blackboard, and you'll have those ready and prepared for you ahead of time. So students will be required to answer all of the questions that are under that topic area or those topic areas that are assigned for that week. All answers need to be in complete sentences, or else include the questions before your answers. If you just say no, that might be a correct answer, but there's no way for me to know that if I don't know what no means. So include the question or write out a complete sentence. No, it is not the case that research calls for blah blah blah. Just make sure that I know what you're talking about within your homework. Turn in all homework in the correct assignment file in Blackboard. and turn in all of the homework in PDF or .docx file format, .doc or .odt. I cannot open .pages files, and I cannot open Google Docs files. And so if you turn in your homework accidentally throughout the semester in one of the file formats that I cannot open, I'm going to assign you a 0. I'll leave a comment that that's why you got a 0. Save it to another file format that I can open, upload it again. I will regrade it for full credit. But if I can't see what the homework is, I can't give you a grade for it. So it happens, and we'll get through it together. Turn in all homework in a timely manner. Each week the homework is going to be due at midnight the night before class, and that's the class in which it is assigned. So it's due Monday at midnight before class. The class workshops we will be doing in the class. During class there will be time. We'll sit down and work on those things. We'll have a little bit of talking beforehand and then some talking afterwards. We will review the readings first in class, answer any questions students have, and then have a significant portion of the class working on these different components of research, practicing what we have learned and putting it together toward our own research projects. It is essential that you complete the readings before class. That's why I have you doing the homework ahead of time, so that you can be prepared. All of the workshop materials will be up in Blackboard. I will be redesigning some of these pieces throughout the semester. That's why I don't have all of them up just yet. And of course, if there are snow days throughout the semester, I might kind of change the way that the workshops go through class to make sure that we get all of the pieces, even if there are classes that we miss. So I'm going to ask you to please bring a laptop to class. If you cannot bring a laptop, you can download and print the required workshop materials before class. Bring paper and pen to complete the assignment, but be prepared. You're going to have to transcribe all of that back into Blackboard after class. Most students will be able to complete and submit the workshops during class. If you like to think about things or fret about things, or if you're a web student and so you're not taking it at the same time as we are conducting it live in class, that's totally fine. You have until the following Monday at midnight in order to submit all of the workshop materials. Typically what we are going to be doing with the workshops is I'll have you kind of working on them independently, putting down whatever answers you have, and then we'll go over it if there is a right or wrong answer in a specific skill that I want you to learn. What I am going to highly encourage you to do with your workshops is include your answer that you came up with. If when we are reviewing it later on, you discover that the answer is different, put that different answer as well and explain why it is the correct answer. This is not so much for me, but this is for you. If you have the correct answer included, I'm going to give you credit for it, but I want you to learn and absorb why it is the correct answer, and that'll also make it easier for you when you're reviewing your workshop notes later on to determine what exactly was your thought process while you were going through it, and it will really help you learn these materials. So it's okay if your initial wrong answer is included. I won't take points off for that. What I want you to do is ultimately come to the correct answer. And so again, if you need to have some additional time after class to go back over, review the class, go back to your book or anything like that, that's totally fine. You have a whole nother week in order to get the workshop materials in with the correct answers. But I definitely want you to have that brain work time so that you can get those right answers. So the research proposal paper, as I mentioned, we'll be putting that together throughout the semester. Having completed all of the workshops, you will have all of the component parts for your research proposal paper, including we'll be going over what is the order and the outline, how do you write a research proposal paper, and basically you'll just need to gather the pieces of information from your different workshops, put it together in the paper, and turn that in at the end of the semester. So that's going to be 10% of your final grade. What else do I need to talk about? If we have a snow day, I want you to keep up with your homework. We will readjust what happens within class, but keep up with your homework, because that's one of those things that I don't want it to accumulate or pile up, but we can kind of change the structure of what happens within the class time much easier than we can change the structure of what happens in your home time. Moving on to page 3 of the syllabus, you will see the class assignment schedule beginning. Each week, that is the date that class will meet, so January 23rd. Today, snow day. These are the things that we're working on for this week. If you're a live student or a web student, these are the topics. And as you can see, the readings, nothing was due, but I'm encouraging you to go ahead and read ahead for today. Same with the homework, there was none due, but I was encouraging you to work ahead. But the topics 1 through 4 are going to be due next week because topics 1 through 11 are due next week, January 30th. The workshop today is really designed to kind of give me a sense of your baseline knowledge and interest in the course and in research methods in general, and also to kind of work out any bugs that we might have with learning how to access the workshop materials, getting them downloaded and uploaded and all of these things. So please go ahead and do that workshop. It's due next Monday at January 30th at midnight. Next week we will be talking about the entire part 1, Introduction to Research Methods, topics 1 through 11. We'll review all of those. Your homework is to do the topic review, discussion questions, and research planning for all of the areas. A lot of that is it's thinking work, and I want you to put in that effort for thinking work. And that will be due also Monday, January 30th at midnight. Homework is due the night before class. The workshop, we will be talking about how to review research articles. So that's what we're going to do in class next week. I will have workshop materials up before class starts, and so we'll be able to work on all of that, and then the workshop will be due the following Monday. So throughout the semester, let's see, February 6th, we're going to be looking at variables, operational definitions, hypotheses, research questions. February 13th, literature reviews and research. February 20th, reviewing and applying the concepts. Sampling, validity and reliability on March 6th. And also reviewing for the midterm. Then we have spring break, and then we have the midterm. I'm giving you 2 nice long weeks to prepare for your midterm exam, so I hope that that goes well for you. When we come back, we'll review the midterm. If I have all of the tests back, since we're coming in from so many different places all over the state, we'll do our best to get all of that done as quickly as possible, but I know that it can take some time for tests to come in from different locations, so we'll troubleshoot as it goes. March 27th, we will be talking about how to create your own literature review. April 3rd, we'll be designing experimental research. April 10th, what can you learn with numbers? This is the first part of the statistics chapters, which I know some of you are terrified of, but you're only terrified of it because you don't know how much fun statistics is when you are doing research. And I'm not saying that like as a joke. That's entirely serious. I was terrified of statistics until I got to use them. So we're going to be starting those things. Within this class, we're not actually going to be running statistics. We are, however, going to be talking about what you can do with these numbers, what is the point of these numbers, and what you can actually learn with them. So it's going to be very vocabulary intensive, making sure we understand these different things. It'll be understanding what the results mean, what different types of numbers that you can use for different types of research. And so again, we'll come back to that on April 17th to cover up the last of that part. In this, I call it how to get the numbers you want, and I mean how to figure out which statistical test you should use in order to get meaningful answers. In this class, I am not teaching you how to lie with statistics. You have to learn that in statistics class. This is just the thinking process. Which test do I run to get which type of numbers? That's what we're covering in this class. How to lie with statistics is also really fun, but we're not going to do that in this class. On page 6, the full paper is due. That's your research proposal paper, and like I said, you'll already have all of the pieces. You just need to put it together at this point. We'll also talk about effect size, and on May 1st, we will talk about meta-analysis and have our final exam review. And so that's the class in a nutshell, and I'm actually really excited about it. Like I said, research nerd, it's going to be fun. So on page 7, we have our class policies. First of all is the workload policy. I want you to expect to average 6 to 9 hours in addition to the 3 hours of class time. This is pretty standard and typical for undergraduate courses. There's going to be, some weeks you're going to have much more that you need to put into it. Some weeks it's going to be less. So it will average out to 6 to 9 hours a week. Despite the number of questions that we have with each of the topics in the homework that you'll be doing, again, invest that thinking time. It's going to be good for you in your learning within this class. Some weeks you're going to be going out and looking up research articles or studying for the exam, but give yourself the time to do that thinking work. That's the whole point of college, and you definitely need that. It's not just checking off boxes and writing down words. You need to think about those words that you're doing. So, attendance policies, you can't pass this class without attending class. I strongly believe that, especially since the exams are 50% of the grade. Even if you're able to kind of like fudge your way through the workshops and the homeworks and stuff, it would take a very exceptional student, I think, in order to pass the class without ever attending class. So this does mean coming to the live class sessions if you're a live student, or watching it on delayed viewing if you are a web student. The videos will come live shortly after class ends so that anyone can watch it. If you are a live student and you miss class, you can watch class later on the web, or if it's not safe for you to drive to class because of snow or ice from where you're at, just watch it online later. It's totally fine. And same if you're a web student and you want to come to one or more of the live classes, totally show up and join us. That would be wonderful too. Class attendance is not graded. I won't be taking attendance, but it's going to be up to you in order to complete all of your assignments and make sure that you're getting out of class what you need to get out of class. Our late assignment policy, homework assignments are due at midnight the night before class. Workshops are due midnight before class the following week, up to 1 week late, and that includes if you turn in your homework during the class in which it is assigned. That's golly annoying. Don't work on your homework during class. Anyways, but up to 1 week late, your assignment is worth 75%, so you can still get a good partial credit. If it is more than 1 week late, all the way to the end of the semester, you can still turn in your homework and your workshops for partial credit all the way to the end of the semester. Half credit is better than no credit, so definitely take advantage of this. If you fall behind for a couple of weeks, or if you have something that pulls you away from class, you can still catch up in this class. You'll have until May 11th at 5 p.m. in order to turn in all late homework assignments for 50% credit. So if you have any questions, the class officially broadcasts from Augusta, but I'm going to be trying to visit each of the sites throughout the semester. I also have office hours, like I said, on Wednesday and Thursday in Augusta and Bangor respectively. I would very much like to meet you in person if you are able to get to any of the sites on the days that I'll be there. If we can't meet in person because timing doesn't work out or location doesn't work out, we can meet by phone, or we can set up a Google Hangouts, video Hangouts, or just check in by email. But please talk to me, especially if you're having any sort of struggling with the class, if you are falling behind, if you don't quite understand topics, or if just life happened for a few weeks and now you don't know how to catch back up. We can make a plan and get you caught back up in the class. So talk to me as soon as possible when you start worrying about these things. Do not wallow in despair. Come and work together. We'll figure out a strategy to get you caught up in class. I am really good at strategies to get people caught up in class. Planning is one of my wonderful talents that I have. So with the exams, this is on page 7. We have 2 exams throughout the semester, and this is very important, especially for the web students. Live students, the midterm and the final are on March 20th and May 8th respectively. show up to class, there will be proctors, they will give you the exams, and then they'll get the exams to me. If you know ahead of time that you are going to miss one of these days because you'll be out of town or something like that, follow the web student instructions. Web students, very important. After the semester begins, so now, web students need to register with the University College Learning Services. Go to the testing location registration, follow that link right there. Fill out that form, select a testing location. Once you submit that form, that's all you have to do for the semester. You don't have to do it with each test, just for that semester. You'll receive a confirmation email in your student email account, so also make sure you're checking your student email account, and it will give you information how to reach the testing center staff to schedule an appointment for the midterm and final. You need to schedule the appointment for the midterm and the final. That's going to be up to you and something that you do have to do with each test that you are taking live for my class, but also for other classes. Schedule your appointment as early as possible because sometimes these locations fill up, and we have a pretty wide window. I've given you almost 2 weeks in order to schedule that exam time, so make sure you schedule a time as early as possible so that you can get something within that window. And be aware, especially for the March window, that spring break falls within that window, so you can't take your exam during spring break. It's going to be before spring break and then the week after. Makeup exams. This is for both live and web students. If you miss that window, if you can't make it to the live class, or if you aren't able to schedule for some reason, if you don't or you miss it, your appointment, if there's an illness or emergency or something like that that keeps you away from college during that exam window, you can ask me to schedule a makeup exam, and depending on the circumstances, if I'm able to give you permission to do that, you can then schedule the makeup exam with UCLS. I have already given them permission that if I give you permission, you can reschedule even outside of that testing window. The last 2 pages, the page 8 and 9, are general university policies. These are policies that are within your student handbook. You agreed to all of these policies by becoming a student here at UMA. I'm just going to talk about them very briefly. First of all, the incomplete policy is basically up to the discretion of the professor, and my general rule is that I reserve incompletes for people who are mostly done with the class, who have been, largely pretty successful with the class, but then some emergency happens at the end of the semester that they're not able to complete the class. That's typically what I reserve incompletes for. So if that is starting to sound like you at the end of the semester, come and talk with me. Again, don't wallow in despair. We'll figure out what is an appropriate strategy for moving forward. L's are for students who just don't show up or stop attending, disappear at the beginning or somewhere in the middle of class. Withdrawal, if you withdraw, which is a process you have to go through with the registrar, then you'll get a W grade. If it is after the 60% portion of the term completed, I do have the prerogative to change it to a WF, which will count as a fail. I have never had reason to do that. I haven't yet figured out how much a student would have to piss me off in order for me to do that, because that hasn't happened. So, but again, if you need to withdraw from the class, that's the process you go through is with the registrar. Internet access, we will be using Blackboard, and I will ask, if possible, for you to have internet access in class. And stay off Blackboard, or not Blackboard, stay off of like Facebook and Instagram and whatever else while we're in class. But yeah. Academic integrity policy, please review the full code, but this does include plagiarism, which we'll be talking about some in class, how to reflect other people's knowledge through your own words so that you are not plagiarizing their words, but actually like showing that you have learned what they are talking about and you want to also move or carry on this knowledge to other people. It also includes duplication. So for example, you couldn't use a paper that you've written in a previous class within this class, and issues like that. The Title IX statement on page 9, our Title IX policy is basically to protect students who are having any sort of domestic violence or sexual harassment or assault issues within their life and or on campus. I am a mandatory reporter, so if I hear from a student that there is something going on in their lives, I have to contact the Title IX office and let them know about it. However, what will happen then is that the Title IX office will contact that student and see if they need an additional supports or services that the Title IX office can offer. Students do not have to take those services. So just make sure that you know that any information that comes through me, I do have to report. Any university employee is a mandatory reporter. That includes student employees. So it's not just me, it's all of the faculty and staff. And then finally, the Americans with Disabilities accommodations. If you have a disability which may affect your ability to participate fully in this course, it is your responsibility, and I add, it is your right to request accommodations promptly. So definitely do that. If you can use any additional services or supports that will help you learn in this class, use them. I want you to learn in this class. I don't care how long it takes you to take a test. I don't care if you need to sit in a comfortable seat because of back problems or whatever else. I want you to learn. So anything that will help you learn this stuff, please take advantage of it. I used to work at the Center on Disability Studies in Hawaii. I feel very strongly about this. So request accommodations. It is not special supports. It's just basic access to make sure that everybody can learn equally. If you have any questions about the syllabus or about the course, please let me know. Send me an email, stop by office hours later in this week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.